Happy New Year when you're watching this, because I wrote and made this episode well in advance, and also it may not be New Year's when you watch this, considering how much lists I have to make. Anyway, 2024 was admittedly pretty mixed in general, but as we enter a new year, it's good to look forward, mostly to the films, because yeesh, and 2025 seems to have a pretty interesting slate ahead of us, so let's get into it. Honourable mentions. So a little house clean. This section is for films I'm interested in seeing, but either didn't make it into the final 10, or I just found more interesting, but I don't know if it's getting a release this year, especially if it might be released at a festival where it sometimes takes years for it to be seen by the general public. So here are the honourable mentions. Aztec Batman. Now, on the surface, this may seem like another animated Batman movie. Those usually are a dime a dozen on the DTV market, but this one is something you should check out, mostly for the premise. What if Batman, but instead of Gotham City, it's Aztec Mexico? This looks interesting, blending real history with comic book superheroics, with Hernan Cortez being a version of Two-Face, and it's cool to see an interpretation of a hero from a different country than we're used to, so there's something to look forward to in that. Queens of the Dead. On the surface, this might seem like another comedic zombie film, but what piqued my interest for this film is who's directing it. Tina Romero, daughter of George A. Romero, so yeah, it's cool to see if this might be like her father's, or that, most likely, judging by the title and the comedic setup, strike out in her own. It's got an interesting cast as well, so yeah, I hope to see if this gets released this year. Red Sonja. MJ Bassett is a filmmaker I don't see talked about much. He's done a lot of action and horror movies like 2002's Death Watch or that Megan Fox Line movie from 2020, and she's done TV work on action shows like Ash vs. Evil Dead, Strike Back, and was the first trans person to work on an MCU project by directing an episode of Iron Fist. Now, she's doing an adaptation of Red Sonja, and if you've seen her last Howard adaptation, Solomon Kane, then you can see she has the chops to direct it, and I'm very interested to see what can she do with this property. Retreat. Now, this looks interesting. Retreat is a thriller film with an all-death cast, and that's something we don't usually see a lot of. Now, not a lot of disabled people get a lot of opportunities like this, and I think if we want to see films reflect the world we live in, we should champion films that do stuff like this. And now, onto the 10 films I'm excited for this year. Number 10. Battle of Thorn High. Joko Anwar is a filmmaker from Indonesia I'm interested in, but I haven't watched most of his films. I've seen his Saint Slaves remake / prequel, and I'm interested in what he's made, which ranges from horror films, dramas, to even Indonesia's very own superhero franchise. And his next film, Battle of Thorn High, sets to be the first collaboration between a Hollywood studio and Indonesia, and that seems pretty neat. Number 9, 28 Years Later. 28 Days Later, to me, is several things. One of the best modern zombie movies, one of the best British movies, and one of the best British horror films, and that's a good lineup to be a part of. So now we're getting another sequel with original director Danny Boyle, original writer Alex Garland, and original star Cillian Murphy, back with actors like Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Ray Fiennes, and what seems to be the start of a new trilogy. And judging by the trailer, it looks really good. I might be infected with rage virus because I'm not walking to see this film. Number 8. Wildwood. It wouldn't be an anticipated list without at least one entry from one of the prestige animation studios. Elio looks fun, co-directed by Domi Shi, who else did Fun Turning Red. We're getting another Zootopia movie. And Bad Guys 2 looks fun, but it's like as Wildwood, which has piqued my interest. Because I don't usually pump out a film every year like the other studios, so it feels like an event. The film also boasts a good cast, and judging by the teaser trailer, it still has that handcrafted look that the other films usually have. Number 7, The Naked Gun. I feel like it's been said before, and I'm going to repeat it here, that good spoof movies don't get made anymore, especially in the vein of the Zucker, Abrahams, and Zucker films with their blend of joke minute and sight gags that gave their films their own identity, and that is often hard to replicate. So imagine my excitement that Seth MacFarlane and Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island are making a reboot with perfectly cast Liam Neeson in the Frank Drebin role. It seems like a perfect fit. Number 6, The Magnificent Life of Marcel Pagnol. Another animated film, this time from director Sylvain Chomet, director behind films like Triplets of Bellevue and The Illusionist. Yeah, so if you know your animated movies or your French movies, you know. Number 5, Frankenstein and The Bride. Shown in number 5 spot because my list, by rules, and because they're very similar, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein and Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. Both are adaptations of the Mary Shelley novel. One is by a director who's an obvious match for the source material, judging by his appreciation of the genre and how it shows in his films, and the other seems like an interesting take. It's a musical with a good cast behind it. It's feeding my Frankenstein itch. Number 4, The Fantastic Four, The First Steps. Obviously, at the number 4 spot, it's The Fantastic Four. Marvel's first family finally comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and with a good cast and director behind it, and with the setting being an alternate 1960s, this film seems like a good time, and it'd be very interesting to see how it ties in with Marvel's multiversal machinations. Number 3, Wake Up Dead Man. Rian Johnson is doing another Knives Out mystery with Daniel Craig in it, and like always, it has a good cast set, it'll do another good twist within a twist like last two, and hopefully it'll be a good time. Number 2, The Life of Chuck. Mike Flanagan's latest film for the first in 6 years is coming and already has racked up a lot of praise at its festival run and the People's Choice Award at TIFF. It sees Flanagan adapt Stephen King again, and it seems to be doing not in the vein of a horror film like he's known for, but in the vein of a Frank Capra film. Seems like it's going to be great. Number 1, Superman. James Gunn is doing a Superman movie, and if you can see how he managed to balance optimism with the Ethan Cruder and weirdo elements of the Marvel Universe, and judging by his previous DC work, then he's a perfect fit. It's also exciting to see this kick off another DC film universe that feels more confident and more embracing of the elements of Superman that haven't gotten the love in previous films. I'm really excited to see what James Gunn can do with this. And those were my anticipated films of 2025. Are there any other films you're excited for this year? Please comment below and also like and subscribe. Hey, do you like movies? Do you like movie reviews? Then this channel has stuff like that. There's Watch This Space, my film review show where I view recent films. And I also make short films, like Correspondence, which is very unique. If you'd like to see stuff like this, then please subscribe to stay updated on my work. Also follow my social media channels as well. So please subscribe to my channel.